What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now listen, man, the next video we getting into, man, and shout outs to Jubilee, is gonna be, do all millionaires think the same? Now, if you're one of those aspiring, I was about to say inspiring, but aspiring millionaires like myself, hopefully one day I wish to be able to create some generational wealth for the family. You tend to, on the road to becoming a millionaire, you study everything, every aspect of people who already are millionaires, right? And a lot of them write books and motivational things they have, and they tell you, you know, a lot of times it's the mindset. It's the mindset. So then you get yourself down a rabbit hole of trying to figure out what's the mindset of a millionaire. So I thought this video right here would be pretty interesting for those of you who are aspiring to be that. So it says, do all millionaires think the same? I'm interested to see how this plays out, because it oftentimes you do hear a lot of them say it's mindset, it's mindset. You know, are you maximizing all the time in the day? Do you have multiple streams of income? Do you wake up? Do you read? Do you? It's so many different things that they ask you, are you doing, and to see if you want to really be a millionaire or not, or is it just some pipe dream? All right, so shout outs to Jubilee. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, join the fam, all that good stuff. Let's get to the video. Here we go.
Self-made has to be somebody that was growing up broke.
I disagree with that. You can mow lawns for a few months and make like a few $1,000s.
You know how many lawns I'm gonna have to mow?
It's a lot of lawns.
Oh, I can already see they having a conversation that I want parts in. I like this. I like this. Let's get into it, man. Y'all interact too. Y'all interact. Let's get into it.
He's a multi-millionaire. Please welcome Tim Sykes.
The key to my success is just working hard, like 18 to 20-hour days every day of my life, and having no life.
Where are you stock traders at right now? With all this coronavirus going on right now, what are y'all doing? Are y'all buying right now as it's getting low? I'm interested to see where y'all at, what y'all doing.
But having a lot of money.
I think it's consistency, waking up every day, doing things that I need to do, not just because I want to do them, but because I have to do them.
3 years ago, I was serving Captain and Coke as a server. I feel like a lot of people think that this happens overnight when it's really been a lot of work.
I started a fat freezing business. It just grew from doing it for friends and family, and it grew into like a crazy thing.
Fat freezing business?
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. I think it's so important that you live below your means and live frugally and really focus on what's most important to you.
I think millionaires get a bad rep. I try really hard to serve other people.
Yeah, I'm interested in.
And self-made. 3, 2, 1, go. Growing up, I didn't have anyone in my family that was in real estate. I didn't have anyone in my family that, you know, had millions of dollars. And so for me, I do remember being like 15 to 16 years old, having 20 bucks and working part-time after school and like saving away all that money. And then I used that money to get my real estate license. I barely graduated high school. I never went to college, 2 divorced parents, so I should not have become wealthy statistically. But I believe that I put in the work and I really wanted something and I was really determined and I really enjoyed what I do, and that, you know, accumulated to where I am today.
I literally...
A lot of great points he made, a lot of things that we should take away from that he made, man. He didn't make excuses just because, and a lot of us make excuses. Oh, my parents didn't give me, I wasn't afforded the luxury that you had, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Okay, you didn't, you grew up in a bad situation. Cool. How long are you gonna use that as your crutch? You get what I'm saying? Like, how long do you gonna use that? He didn't. He was handed lemons, he made lemonade. You know, he saved up his money, he worked hard, he got his real estate license, and he continued on. And another key thing he said, it was something he loved to do. We always hear the cliche phrase, if you're doing something you love, it hardly feels like you're working. You know what I'm saying? And that's true in a sense. I'm not gonna say 100% true, because sometimes it starts out as something you love, But the more you begin to become successful at it and work extremely hard, sometimes it does feel like work. I wouldn't lie to you. But he made a lot of good points, man. And one thing the girl said earlier was consistency. I believe wholeheartedly in consistency. You know what I'm saying? Consistency is key.
Started from the bottom. I'm not saying that I was ever homeless or anything, but I did grow up in a single family household. We ended up sharing like a 1-bedroom apartment with 5 people living in one bed. Living through those struggles really did put into perspective that I just wanted more out of life. So I went out there and I did whatever it took to build my wealth. And even though all odds were stacked against me, like I failed out of business administration, my counselor told me I would never make it in business, but I took that and it lit a fire under me to prove her wrong almost.
I feel like personally self-made has to be somebody that was growing up broke, in my opinion. Like you got it from the bottom. And I didn't get it from the bottom.
I disagree with that. I don't think you need to come straight from the bottom. Like I started with a few $1,000s. I know a lot of people who started their whole businesses with a few $1,000s.
A few thousand is more than what I had, so in
but
my
it doesn't
mind,
matter. Like a few
you're
thousand isn't going to make or break your business, like your life. Like you can't.
$0?
Let's say you start with $1,000. I still believe you're self-made. Even 10,000, even 20,000, because you're not truly like even 6 figures or 7 figures.
I'm broke and I live at mom's house with $0. You're in a way better position.
I like that. Because everybody has their own interpretation of what it means to be that. You know what I mean? There's no what that screams to me, there is no clear-cut definition of it. Everybody has their own clear-cut definition of what that means to me. Am I self-made? If you ask me that, I would say, am I self-made? I would have to think about it. I would probably say, yeah, self-made. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even close to being a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? But would I say if I became one day, was I self-made? Possibly, yeah. Possibly, yeah. For the same reasons the first guy was speaking of. You know what I'm saying? Worked hard, very, very diligently. You know what I mean? Didn't have anybody there to really give me the game or really steer me in the right direction. I had to kind of figure things out on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
You can mow lawns for a few months and make like a few $1,000s. Like there's ways.
You know how many lawns I'm gonna have to mow?
It's a lot of lawns, but that is self-made.
I know what it feels like to be poor. 3, 2, 1, go.
There's a difference between being poor and being broke. I've been broke before, like me and my husband have been broke many times in like our relationship, but we've never been poor. And even like a long time ago when I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my family, we were never poor. I mean, I was happy, like I had pudding, we went to like parks and stuff. I never felt poor.
When I was 7 years old, I got kicked out and moved into my grandparents' garage. And so I was poor mentally and I was broke financially. And I had to take care of myself at a very young age. So for a decade, I was running a pool company in order to eventually gain the opportunities to ultimately move that ball down the court, obviously. So,
But were you happy?
I mean, I wasn't,
garage?
not really, right? Because there was a lot of stuff going on, and like I'm living in a garage and I'm growing up, and I had to not only become rich financially, but also mentally.
Another thing that's subjective, being poor. Poor can mean several different things to people. I hear a lot of rich people sometimes say, you know, I'm rich people broke. You know what I mean? It's several different subjective answers to that. Poor to me would be what you see in some of these other countries. You know what I mean? Where it looks like no means to an end. You know, you die from hunger. You're just flat out. You're poor. You can't. You barely make enough to feed yourself, and you have a family. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, I think sometimes we're not poor, but we're just not where we want to be. You know, a lot of people may say I'm poor, but you're able to feed yourself, clothe yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have running water. You have a roof over your head. I guarantee you go to other countries or different places in the country and they'll really remind you of what poor is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's subjective as well.
I know what it's like to have everything and lose it all. So for me, my parents split when I was young. My family was broken. My mom had to then support 2 children. My dad had some nasty habits with gambling and lost everything. So he had a lot of debts that my mom ended up having to be chased for. And basically, I was 12 years old when I got my first job going door-to-door sales, selling newspaper subscriptions, and I had to bust my ass off to help my mom. So for me, I feel like we all start from somewhere and we go through certain motions because it builds character.
I like that. I'm jealous of you guys. I wish I had that mindset. Like, I traveled to third world countries to kind of see what it's like, but I still can't put myself like totally in that spot.
I feel like, again, broke and poor are 2 different things. Like, I grew up in a 2-parent home. I, went to prom in a Bentley. Like, I grew up really, really great. But then I hit 20 and I moved out with some boy, and the situation got very, very domestic violence-y. Now, I was living in a penthouse, and I'm sorry, I got too much pride. I wasn't gonna go back home. And I'm like black and blue, like getting locked in like closets, like really, really toxic stuff. So that for me was very, very poor. Now, did it slingshot me to 6 figures?
See? A lot of us hear her story, and although we empathize and sympathize with her domestic disputes that she went through and feel as though that nobody should have had to be subjected to that, I wouldn't say she was in a poor, she was just in a unhealthy environment, number one, with the abuse. But as far as poor, I just don't think she's at that stage, or she was poor in any sense. She probably still had, although her parents were mad at her, she probably still had access to them. If she went back to them, they would have made sure she had what she needed. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I said it's to me, and this is only my opinion. I just don't think some people know what it's like to truly, truly be poor. That's why I like what the other guy said. He travels around to countries to see it. You have to see it to realize, okay, maybe I'm not as poor as I think I am. You know what I mean?
Figure a month income? Yes. But in that state of mind and in that environment, I felt like I was really poor. Like, I looked beat up, and my direct deposit was not gonna fix a black eye, like.
I should pay more in taxes. 3, 2, 1, go.
I feel like, you make more money, you obviously do have to pay somewhat more, but I don't feel like we deserve extra things to pay just because we have more money. Like, we shouldn't be looked to as like a fund, from the government or someone else who just feels like, oh, you have more money, you should pay more in taxes.
I just feel like there should be a little bit more freedom with it, because it's really, really stressful. And I feel like a lot of businesses fail in the first 3 years because of taxes, not because they're bad at business, not because they're bad at managing money, but because they're not prepared to do everything by the book.
I mean, I just don't appreciate it when big companies who sell a lot of their services like in the US, and then they have some like Ireland tax status where they're getting out of it, like Apple and Amazon and these big companies that theoretically should pay billions in taxes while it's us average people who are really supporting the government. I think there should be a little less inequality there.
Amazon.
Ooh, did he hit the nail on the head with that? How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about it? Because I feel like a lot of people know how to get around things. You know what I mean? Like athletes. Athletes, a lot of times, they move to places where, if you notice during the off season when it's contract time and free agency and different things, a lot of athletes tend to become recruiters, right? They recruit big name free agents to come play for their team. One of their major selling terms for you to come to their team is if they're in a state that does what? No tax state. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, I feel like a lot of people know how to get around things. And like he said, the big companies, man, and the big time million and billionaires, they know how to avoid taxes, man, or get around certain taxes, man. And I just don't think that's fair. And at the same time, it may be on us as well. Lack of knowledge of how we could, you know what I mean, have some of these tax breaks. I feel like we don't have the knowledge. And that shouldn't be an excuse on our part.
I paid $0 in taxes.
Did you see Bezos is donating to Australia for the wildfires? He donated $690,000.
Yeah.
And he makes an average of $200 million per day.
Yeah.
And he put out a whole press release. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, give a little more.
To be fair, they have created a lot of jobs for people. I actually sell on Amazon, so through Amazon FBA, he's provided an opportunity for people like me to make a living for myself, to be
You're
able
a
to start
boss
a
on
business,
Amazon.
online, and to be able to make internet money. So like to have that freedom, and like whether we think that he needs to give more or not, I mean that's really up to him what he does with his money.
I spent an absurd amount of money on something because I can. 3, 2,
Strongly
1.
agrees.
My husband just got a Lamborghini and he had Mercedes. It was like a 90 grand car and he added like a 200 grand car. And I'm like, why'd you do that? Like you don't need to do that. He's like, well, I mean, I could, so why not? Like I want to, it's fun. I'm like, you can't even drive it to the grocery store. Like you can't use this car for anything.
I mean, I grew up wanting cars. Like my whole bedroom was like plastered with cars on the wall. And then when I could actually buy it, it was like
it's so
fulfilling
fun, right?
Well, it was fulfilling a childhood dream. It wasn't even about the car. It was the challenge.
Yeah.
Then once I had all the cars, the thrill was gone, so I didn't need it. So I think that you should all have like dreams and chase those dreams, whatever they are. Maybe they don't cost that much.
But I mean, not everything's materialistic. Like when I started making money, I changed my body.
Yeah,
I went and
I mean,
upgraded
that's
my
what everyone
chest.
does.
I went and cleared my skin.
Yeah.
I went and got a tattoo. I
Yeah.
went and got my, you know what I mean? Like, go and get hair extensions. Like,
I've definitely purchased things in the past that were cool, and it was because I could. But as time's gone along for me, I've realized so many times that every time I hit the goal or the destination or the target, I realized that the journey was so much more fun. And as I've achieved more success and built more companies, it's almost every time now where I get there and I'm like, man, the journey was actually funner than the destination.
I'm kind of over.
I agree with him, because the excitement at the end is short-lived. It's very short-lived. The journey took so long. You went through so much, you built so much character in you that you enjoyed that process. You know what I'm saying? And that's the high you continue to chase. You know, the fulfillment of setting the goal, going through what it takes to get there, achieving the goal, and then it's over with. You know what I mean? So you have to continuously set goals. There's nothing wrong, man. My thing is, it's your money. You do with it what you want to. If you wanted to blow it on a couple $100,000 car, then that's your choice. You earned it. You fought for it. This is something you wanted. By all means, nobody should judge you on that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know that was your childhood dream or something that you thought was so far-fetched and now you were able to accomplish it. No, a lot of people be on the outside looking in just like, oh my gosh, she's just trying to flaunt. No, this is something I wanted. Yeah, stroking my ego, whatever the case may be. But I wanted this and I fought hard to get it. And you should look at it as motivation. That guy, he did that. He, you know what I'm saying? And I can do that too.
Here with you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because like I used to buy a lot of bags. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and then once I got there, it was kind of like, I don't have a man, I don't have kids. What am I doing?
But the question wasn't like, what do you think about what's important now? It's like, have you done it in the past? You can't change your past. If you do, are we doing
but I
changing the
control my
future?
future.
Like, what do you think about material possessions now? Like, I'll change. I don't need them. But in the past, I've had them. So I've fulfilled my childhood dreams. Now I'm good.
Inequality is one of humanity's biggest problems. 3, 2, 1, go.
If we're talking about getting like successful, inequality is definitely not a problem. Like a homeless person has rose to fame overnight. I mean, if we're talking about inequality like with like the country, yeah, like, you know, that exists. But to become successful, inequality is not a problem. You know, anyone can make it.
I guess the issue with inequality is that the rich are getting richer and the poor are not having access to those means.
Well, no, because I feel like my husband, he grew up in like the ghetto of LA. Like he had nothing. He worked as a dishwasher technician, and now he drives a gold Lamborghini and he had a gold Mercedes and he can buy whatever the hell he wants. You don't need to be like a white guy to make money, you know? Like you don't need to grow up in a rich area to make money. There's opportunities everywhere. Anyone can do it if they want to.
I agree. If we're speaking in today's, right now, current society times, you have more access than you truly believe. I think more people need to learn to self-evaluate. They need to look at themselves and see, what are you not doing? What am I not doing? What am I wasting my time and my day on? And I think if you self-evaluate and be truly honest with yourself, then you would see the holes in the different things that you're doing that's not helping you elevate to where you want to be. I guarantee if you sat down and truly self-evaluated yourself and say, man, I spent a lot of time sleeping, or I spent a lot of time watching TV, or I spent a lot of times just screwing off, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? I waste a lot of the day away instead of applying it to something I'm very passionate about, to reading up on something, to researching something, or to just getting my behind off of the couch and coming and starting something. A lot of people just will not start because in their mind, it's like, oh, I need this to start. I need that. I need this to start. Instead of just jumping off the porch and going at it and figuring it out along the way, you're not going to have all the answers. You're never going to have all the answers. Even when you have all the answers, you still don't have all the answers. It's not possible. So start. And I think that's where a lot of the problem is. It's not in inequality. I think a lot of people just don't take the advantage of all that's offered today.
But
I think when you look at
I
the
don't disagree with that,
statistics, though, I think it's definitely doable. Like anybody can do it, but we still are in a day and an age where it's still not that common in the grand scheme of things. Like there's still a lot of people that, like you said, the rich get richer and the poor are either staying the same or not really getting that ahead right now.
I feel like there's still just a lot of inequality. I mean, like we're all minorities, and you guys are white. And then like growing up, if you put me in a 4th grade classroom and I say, show me a millionaire, you say Apple, Amazon, Timothy Sykes, he's rich. And then you're like, okay, show me somebody black, show me somebody Asian, show me somebody Spanish. You're gonna be like,
it's very
Michael
limited,
Jordan.
Right? It's extremely limited.
They don't know.
We need more examples.
We need more examples. True. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think a lot of times it's injected in us that the only way out for us is either rapping and music or it's being an athlete. No, it's more ways out there. You know, it's what we subject ourselves to. We tend to only want to hang around people who are athletes or entertainers, or, you know what I'm saying? We don't have many people. When I became a firefighter, there were not many people that I knew who had ever been in that profession. Never. Not hardly nobody I could talk to. To me, that was a light bulb. It's other things to do. Not saying that job makes you super successful, but that was just an example of something. You know, I feel like we don't have access to a lot of things. You know what I mean? And that's sad. We got to broaden out. We got to get out of our comfort zone, too. That's a huge thing, man. Get out of the comfort zone.
Has allowed me to become rich. 3, 2, 1, go.
Dang it, I was on a rant so much I missed the question. My privilege has allowed me to become rich. Ooh, good one.
Allowed me to become rich. 3, 2, 1, go.
I think the internet democratizes everything. I mean, I learned everything about stock trading on the internet, and many of us take advantage or capitalize on, things that are in the market, and the internet allows us to become experts.
Did you say the internet's a privilege, though?
No, I mean, you want to get like into semantics, like it's a privilege to be alive during this time in history where we have the
internet, just in a sense, if you're broke, you may not have it, so you have to like
you can
walk
get free
to,
Wi-Fi.
you have to walk
you
to
can
Starbucks.
beg on the street, and you can get.
But I have to walk there. It's not a
You could
privilege.
be paralyzed, and you could like push yourself. There's a way to get on the internet. Almost every
Yes.
single person can get on the internet. The internet, I think, allows you to achieve anything. And it doesn't matter if you're in the US, if you're a man or a woman.
Well, I feel like that's for internet businesses. Like for me, it's more like beauty. Like for example, if I didn't like kind of look good, I'm not trying to be conceited, no one would trust me to like help them look better. Like for example, you're in stocks, that's not really privilege. You learn how to do that. My privilege has allowed me to make money just in that case, just because it's like a beauty industry. That's it. You know.
So you can create privilege then too, right? Once you gain some momentum in life, it becomes easier in a sense, right? It becomes like you look at the exponential growth of success typically, and once you kind of create privilege a little bit, from what I've found at least, it does become a little bit easier. Like once you're there though, I mean, it could take 10 years to get there, but eventually you create the privilege. Doesn't mean you had to start out privileged.
For sure, and sometimes it's generational. Like if I was in my mom's shoes and I was actually born in Vietnam and and she didn't take that chance with her family to leave literally everything behind and come over to Canada, I may not be where I am today because she didn't, make that decision to bring our family over. Maybe I would have had to be the one to make that decision for my family, and then it's the next generation that basically built off of that. So it really is situational.
People judge me because I'm rich.
Oh,
3,
yes.
2,
Strongly
1,
agree.
go.
Strongly agree.
We live in a world where social media is extremely prevalent. So like being on YouTube or Instagram or social media, a lot of it's like perceived. You are constantly getting like quote unquote judged.
Right, but even on social media, it really just depends what you post. That's very much
I have a
a
stupid
controlled
$30,000
environment.
watch just for social media. Like I don't
Right.
even, if you ask me what time it is, I check my iPhone. I don't even know if this thing works. But like when you're trying to grow your business, especially for me, like in stock trading, why do you get into stock trading? Is it fun? No, it sucks, but you can make money. So for social media, you kind of have to show it.
But even with social media, I mean, if you have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, I think you're rich.
Yeah.
Because I know YouTube is writing you a check.
That's a false misconception. Oh my gosh, that is not true. That is not true. Just because you have 1 million subscribers does not mean you have $1 million or you are rich. That is not true. That is so not true, man. And I wish everybody would really understand that. That is not how it works. It does not work that way, bro. It does not work. You have to work hard. You have to do other things. You have to, you know what I mean? It depends on the content. Somebody can have 1 million subscribers and their videos are demonetized every single day. I'm telling you, bro, stop looking at these YouTubers and thinking he has 1 million subscribers, so he's a millionaire. That is so far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. Don't get me wrong. There are some that are out there, but everybody, that's not the case.
And I'm judging you off
Direct
that.
deposit.
But that's my point. Like, you don't have to post a flashy watch. You don't have to post a nice car anymore. Like, if I see, a large amount of subscribers on a monetized platform, I know you're getting direct deposit. I know something's keeping your lights on. Now, I'm not judging you in a bad way. Of course, I work every day to try to make videos too. But in the same sense, like, we judge people that ask us for money.
That is true.
Buy happiness. 3.
Money can buy happiness. I'm kind of in the middle on that one. Because I feel like everybody who says money doesn't buy happiness is and they don't say is true and false in a sense. Because it doesn't buy you happiness, but you are happy when you have money. So I'm in the middle on that one. Man. Because when you're broke or you're poor or whatever you deem yourself, you wish you had money. When you have money, yes, you become happier because you're not going through all those things that you went through before. But it does. You'd be naive to say it does bring its challenges to you at the same time. Now people are asking you for money. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now you have tax problems. Now you have different things that money brings. So it doesn't necessarily bring you happiness, but it does make you happy in some areas because you no longer have to worry about the lights being on. You're able to take care of those things. So it takes certain stresses away, but it does bring certain stresses to you. So for that, I'm 50-50 in the middle.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's kind of like that poor broke mentality all over again. Like if
Yep.
you're rich and you're like in a domestic violence relationship, like you're not happy even though you might have money, but still money can buy fun things. And looking back, like you're
Facts.
proud of your accomplishments, you're proud of the journey that you took to get to where you are, and in a way it can buy happiness.
Money allows you to buy freedom, and then freedom gets you the ability to have more time to find what makes you happy. It's not a direct result.
But it could be like, let's say your mom or your dad or somebody that had a severe illness, you know, was in the hospital and they had X amount of time to live. Now this person makes you extremely happy, and it's going to cost $1 million or $2 million for this surgery that
And
they
you save
need
them.
to survive, and you save them. Like, you quite literally just bought happiness.
bought
And that's not to
happiness.
say that
I
it
agree.
buys happiness in every area of life. Like,
But it can.
But in certain areas, like, yeah, money definitely.
That's why I say I'm in the middle. You know what I'm saying? They just explained it just like what I was saying.
Can buy happiness.
My most fulfilling asset is the house that I bought my parents.
Exactly.
And I am so grateful
And
to be able to do
you were
that.
serving another person.
100%.
Exactly.
Right, it's like pouring from an empty cup. You need to make sure that you fill your cup before you help other people. And I think it goes back to donating, or people expect you to give more because you have more, but really it's not selfish for you to want a lot of money or to want that time freedom. And it really just depends on your definition of happiness. What makes
That's the thing. My thing was always, instead of you coming to me and asking me, why don't you come to me and let's put together a plan to get you some money? Yeah, I make it help you once, but what happens 9 times out of 10? You help somebody, they come right back to you for help again. Instead, why don't you come to me for either a loan for a business, or either we come and sit down together and come up with a plan to help you get started and show you how to make money so that you can continue to make it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But because you know the thing, you give somebody money, you can give somebody money 100 times. The 101 time when you say no, they forget about all the other 100 times you gave them money, and now it's a problem. So that's why a lot of people fall out.
makes you happy? And we all find that, I guess, reason at different points in our life. Some people figure it out really early on, and some people it takes them a lifetime to find out what makes them happy. So even though you could have a lot of money, if you don't know what that reason is that drives you to do the things that you do, then really you're just not going to be happy whether you have money or not.
Got that gold wrap Lamborghini.
A big thank you to Dashland.
Shout outs to Jubilee, man. I like these videos, man. They create conversation, and which is always good. Healthy dialogue is always great. Seeing how different millionaires think it's great, because you know that not every millionaire thinks alike. You know what I mean? It's different mindsets. Somebody on here you could have related with, and somebody on here you could have not. You know what I mean? So it's just letting you see different perspectives, and for that, I'm appreciative, man. So y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, share the video, subscribe, and stick around and stay tuned, man. It's your boy L. Till the next reaction, I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.